You doing, folks? Belkoben, hello, Servos. How you doing, everybody? How is everybody after a weekend? I haven't been around. What is today? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? It is Tuesday. Okay. It's not as bad as I thought. That's all right. Thought I might have missed Monday and Tuesday. That's all right. We're all good. We are fantastic. What am I looking for? Skizzers. Yes, the mighty skizzers. That's what I'm looking for. Boy, is it hot in here. Let's turn that biatch down. Pardon the Francais. How you doing, Max? Max, my good friend, over there on the Legion of Myth channel. So you did some kind of video on, what's it called? What is that game we all know and love? Oh, Rules Cyclopedia. I saw that pop up on my feed. I know you did that. That wasn't recent, was it? Must have been something a few months back, maybe? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's nice to see the old Rules Cyclopedia in action once again. One of my favorites. Give me a moment here. Ryan. Michael. Malinowski. How you doing there, my friend? What's going on? Oh. Skizzers, yeah. I'm gonna blow my schnoz. Hold on here. Oh. 1 second. Oh, much better. Maybe a little pollen in the air. I don't know. We're covering the Rules Cyclopedia right now. Oh, so it's recent. Good. Excellent. Let me catch up on the chat here. Howdy, says Max. Hi, says Mikhail. Is it Mikhail? Fortune Brush Gaming. Hello. That's me. Greetings, Ryan. How are you doing? Lurking with the occasional gallery peanutting. Yes, indeed. That is the tradition here with Ryan. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, subscribe to your channel years ago after you reviewed DBA 3.0, De Bellis Antiquitatis. What a great game that is. And here I am watching the stream painting Numidians for DBA. Boy, imagine that. After years. Pretty crazy. DBA is a great game. It's, it was my introduction to the DBX style of gaming, which I am in total love with. I love DBM, DBR. Love DBMM. Never really played it as much as I wanted to. I since, of course, moved on, as it were, to Triumph, which is kind of a DBA clone, DBM clone. And I love this. It tightens up the game, in my opinion, in many ways, and does a better job than DBA, the vaunted DBA, I think. So, yeah. But I am a DBX fanatic. I love it. So glad to have you, Michael. Is it Michael or Mikhail? What are we talking here? I like to get these names right. Isn't that right, Max? Maxipod. Here's what I'm working on. I got these flags all sealed, so they're protected, and I also gave them a de-shine so they're not so shiny. So they're good to go. We could cut them out and start putting them on. Got 30 flags here. Russians, 10 mil. We got to start getting those put together. hand-drawn, which I love to do. Charge extra for that, of course. But I just love doing that. I would have been an artist in a different life. Maybe I was in a different life. But I love that kind of thing. So, yeah. We're gonna get started with that. Get as many as we can put on the flagpoles. Gonna be a task. Just got back from a dentist appointment. Okay. So you're a little bit numb today, Max? A little bit numb? Rules Cyclopedia. You still liking the Rules Cyclopedia, Max? What are you thinking? I've been playing a lot of Castles and Crusades recently. I love it. Trying to find a decent OSR type D&D type game with levels and classes and follows the tradition of AD&D and D&D. And I've been trying C&C for that. I like C&C a lot. I tried to play it 2 other times, failed miserably. Just it's missing so many things that I wish it had. But I'm giving it another chance. And I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. But we'll see where it goes. Next step is going to be OSE. I'm going to dive into that. See if I want to do some advanced OSE. This is for my old school project, which is my own setting, Mythgard, that I've been working on all my life, it seems. And I want it to be a D&D/AD&D type of game. That's what I want to do with my setting. So I've been looking around, trying different games, give them all a fair shot, because why not? So many games. But yeah, that's what's going on with me. I've returned. You'll be interested in this. Well, maybe you won't, Max. I've gone back to Pathfinder 1st edition. I've had my fill of 2nd edition and have moved on. I've moved back to 1st edition. How do you like that? We don't need to go into the details of why, but yeah, there's a bunch of reasons, which I'm not going to go into. So maybe Max will be interested in that. Maybe not. Probably not. What does he care? He hates the damn game. And I don't blame him. And I got some other things I'm working on. But anyway, I don't know how I got talking about C&C. But yeah, there it is. It's a Polish version of Michael. It's pronounced Michał. Michał. Is it really? I'll have to ask my good friend Ars. Aleksander. He's my Polish friend over there in Warsaw. And he's been teaching me the language for the past 4 years. I've learned about 1 word a year. Czapka. Got that? Szabla. Got that? And gee, I forgot the 3rd word. Damn it. Well, he'll be mad at me. Yeah, I'll mention that to him. Michał. How you doing, Michał? I'm wondering if I'm still saying it right. All right, looks all right. I'll call you Michael. Give it the old English treatment. Nope, teeth are fine. They all fell out of my head last night. As for RC, I like it, but I think it tries to do too much in a convoluted manner. The weapon specialization rules are stupid. Good concept, bad implementation. Yeah, it's like any game. It's got its flaws, and it's got its good side. All in all, it's a complete game, though. You got to admit it. That's a complete damn book, man. You go to a desert island with 1 game, that would be it. Everything is there. And that's nice to have. I mean, rules you can fiddle around with and change any way you want anyway, right? I know he's a stickler for rules, Max is, so I don't know. Pathfinder. Yeah, okay. That's good. James, how you doing, my friend James? I saw you the other night, didn't I? In a stream somewhere. Weird. Oh, Matt's stream. Matt Schreiber. Yeah. Got James here with us. I'd rather play AD&D 2nd edition than Rules Cyclopedia, but both are good games. Yeah, I like Rules. I like second edition too. But again, to me, it comes all... I might even try second edition as part of my project. Go back to it. But we'll see. Got a lot going. $5. Let's make that big. We got a... What is that? A super chat? Were you buying emoji or something? I know it's a super chat. And there he is. You tired today, James? What's going on, my friend? I'm just getting in here. I'm all hyped. Oh, it's been beautiful weather. We're in the low 40s right now. The big thaw out has begun. I think we're going to get 4 more days of this above freezing temperatures, which is good. My pipes have still not unfrozen. So yeah, I've still got frozen pipes. Yeah. So we got, what, 4 days of this thaw before we go back into some freezing weather at night. So hopefully the pipes will thaw out. What a disaster. I got no running water, if you can imagine that. For what, 5 days now? I don't remember. But yeah, what a hassle that is. Dishes are piling up. I got to buy my water. It's crazy. Last night I was in the basement, the old house where I get my water. It's well water. And the pump, not the pump, the tank that the water comes into and, puts the pressure on and distributes, I think it's frozen. I don't know what kind of damage I'm looking at with that. I hope no damage from that. The on-off switch, frozen. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. So fingers crossed, everybody. Let's beat the drums and send out the calls and the horns. Hail the gods. What else? Nah, that's about it. Didn't have much of a weekend. Played some Pathfinder First Edition Sunday. I saw those Reaper goblins. I shared a picture. I guess the guy used speed paint. Used speed paint on them. Oh, they look great. Fantastic looking. More traditional looking goblins as well. So I like that. Reapers. I love Reapers. Need more Reapers in my life. Here's our flags. I think I'm on autofocus. You should be able to see that. There they are. Got the highlights going on. They're sealed and they're good to go. So we're going to cut some out today and put them on the flagpoles. That's my goal. That's my goal. But all in all, life is going really good. I'm freaking happy. It's awesome. Gotta love life, Max. Gotta love life. Good, bad, and the ugly. It's amazing. It's awesome. As I take a deep sigh. It's this weather. It's wearing me out, man. Cabin fever. Right? So I get this way every February. It's like, get me out of here. I'm losing my mind. I can't take this no more. And on top of everything else, frozen pipes. Gotta buy my freaking water. I'll tell you one thing. I get a 24 pack of 16-ounce bottles like this. It lasts a couple days. That's it. Just a couple days. They go so fast. Told my sister, come on up and bring up some of that water down there. I don't care if it's in jugs or cans or whatever. But her entire driveway's covered in ice too. Yeah. I think that was the toughest part about this winter. The bitter cold. Not the snow. I don't even mind snow. It's the cold. This year was particularly harsh. Yeah, my pipes froze up. The pipes next door exploded the last week. You guys remember that? Skizzers. Actually, I'm going to have to get some of those guys over here. They're flagpoles. Max. What are you sitting around? What's going on, Max? Come on, taxpayer money. Okay, we'll leave that one alone. How do I stay fresh? I don't. Not when this is going on. How you doing, Nordic? Saw the stream the other night. Very good, very good. For a little bit. I was there for first hour, whatever it was. Nah, don't worry about it, James. It's all good. I've been through this many times in my life. No big deal. Comes and it goes. I got this. Just got to be patient. The water's in the other house, way on the other side of the property, so I have to go to the other house's basement, which is freezing under there. So there's no way I could heat that up down there. If it's frozen there, nothing I could do. I just got to wait for it to thaw and hope there's no busted pipes. I'm not worried about busted pipes. My only concern might be with the water tank. But, I don't know. Maybe that's unmerited. I'm not a plumber. But that's all. So once it thaws, the water will be shooting through, just like normal. Reaper Goblin. Yeah. As long as I got something to drink and the cats and the dog are all taken care of, we're good. Can do a little roughing now and then. That's okay. It's okay. It's not going to be like that for long. Next year will be a different story. I don't know about that, actually. I'll take that back. Yeah. I got to do... What I have to do is figure out how I can get the pump shooting water over to a tank over here. Not in the other house. That's a big issue. So that's going to be a major project because I have to reroute the pipes coming from the well or dig a new well. But that's a whole different ball game. So, well, that's down on the priority list. I just got to keep it from freezing. And I made one little slip up. One little slip up. And I woke up the next day and the water was froze. Ah, drat. You know, last year was fine. This year, it got me. Got me once. Marshmallows and a hot chocolate. Yeah, it feels like the apocalypse. I feel like I'm in some kind of role-playing game half of the time. But I like it. I like it. Nordic and Matt are doing a wonderful job. I like Matt's new table layout. He's got a nice table there. Did we put you to sleep, Fritz? No, it was late for me. I would normally go to bed anyway. So I didn't get to see what you were doing. I think you were going to play a game or something. That's okay. You had a good turnout there. I think when I was there, it was about 5 or so people. That's pretty good. We're just starting out episode 2, getting the word out. I posted the link over in the Tabletop Commanders. So that's good. Dark magic. I tell you, it's like mud out there now. I had to throw dirt down over the ice. It was so cold. The whole driveway was covered in ice because it had rained, thawed, and then it just went into deep freeze. So we had a ice going here all the way through the driveway and my walkway, everything. So I couldn't get supplies or anything. So I had to dig up dirt that wasn't frozen from under the house, bring it up, make a path or cover it up. And now I got to deal with mud because now it's all thawed and the snow and the ice is creating puddles, which is mud. So I had to I'm not going to go into more details than this. I had to do more work on it today, get the mud out of there. But yeah, just crazy. Now it's raining a little bit and it's going to deep freeze, in 4 days? Hopefully that'll be gone. Should be. I shall pass on cold showers. They're too shockingly to the system. Yeah, too shocking. They're good for you, though. They're healthy. I do them all the time. Pipes froze in my rental home years ago. Once thought they filled the crawl space full before the tenant called me. I fixed the pipes. Yeah, I got to redo the plumbing this year on the kitchen, and most of it's already replaced with PEX. But so it should be easy. But under my kitchen sink, I've got issues. I think Kyle gave me some good advice on what that might be that's causing leaks and thus putting ice in my kitchen floor. So I got to work on that too this spring. That's going to be pretty important. No problem. PEX is easy to work with. It's got to be replaced anyway. Freaking copper pipes. No, we were just talking game mechanics. We're both in the process of sorting and setting up Utah Beach for D-Day. Or Day of Days. So many counters. Yeah, there is. That's crazy. What's the scale of that? I mean, what kind of units are the counters? How low does it go? Are they battalions? Companies? How low does that go? Scale. Made great progress on I got a series of miniatures rules I've been working on for the past decade. And I made a lot of progress, by the way, over the weekend on my Plains Indian Wars Nordic. Yeah, I incorporated a lot of tribal stuff in there, making it quite unique. Even the Pawnee. Yeah, even the Pawnee in there. And I'm kind of settling on a mechanic for the shooting and combat that is a dice pool, which is a little different from the previous one I was working on. I'm liking it a lot. It's detailed. Mind you, when I start putting out the call for playtesters and some of these rules I've designed, be ready. Be ready. Yeah, good progress. I went to sleep listening to Cold War Gone Hot alternative history scenarios. There you go. That's hardcore, James. Hardcore. Imagine how worse it would be. Had the left one, Max. Okay, we're getting political here. Let's not do that. There's the flip jump. James, Max, I have worked a lot in government. Okay, let's not get political. Blah, 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 blah. Nordic company scale. Company scale. Company scale. So it counters like companies. That's a Flames of War army right there. Boom. Each little base or each little counter. That's cool. That's cool. That's going to be a lot of counters for sure. Wow. Maybe that would be a good game to get into. What's it called? Day of Days? There's so many D-Day board games. Did you include the Shawnee? The Pawnee? The Shawnee? They're in there. I added Cree, which are up north. Blackfoot, or Blackfeet. The Blackfeet, Crow, Apache, of course. The Comanche. Who else? Pawnee, I got them in there. Lakota, the Dene, Sioux, basically. I got them in there. Plains, yeah, I got them in there. I've got a pretty thorough turn sequence, close combat, and shooting mechanics all laid down using a dice pool system. It's not an I go, you go system. It's a action-reaction, initiative-stealing type of game, so players are engaged. It's fairly involved. I want it to be a very, very involved game from the beta test because I want people to see what it doesn't need and what is appreciated for a good flowing game with a lot of feel for history. And the last thing I'm working on is an army builder / point values, that kind of mathematical stuff. That'll be the last. I'm close to it. I think the last thing I worked on was the unit sizes and stuff. It's very, very, very... I think of one thing that you'd be impressed by is the period feel of the game. And I haven't played it yet. I've only been testing out things here and there and doing a lot of thinking and wondering and writing. And I've been doing this for like 10 plus years on this particular set of rules. And I come back and forth to it here and there, but I made a lot of good progress. This is like the 4th version of shooting combat I've put together. I'm liking this one. This one's really interesting. Dice pools. You basically, here's a run. I'm not going to say much, but I will say this. You're basically going to start off with it's D6s. So you start off with a D6 pool of typically 1 per model that's in the unit, right? So if you got 6 guys in the troop, then there's 66. That's going to be modified. Penalties are going to take away dice. Bonuses are going to add dice. So you're going to end up with this pool of dice that you're going to roll. The target number always starts off at a base of 4+. Nice 50-50 chance, all right? But that target number is modified to what you need, which can be 5s, it could be 6s, it could be 4s, it could be 3s. So the target number shifts as well. And there's lots of little things going on that can shift these target numbers and the dice that you roll. That's the essential mechanic of how it works. You roll your dice, and what you do is you apply a number of models removed with every so many hits. Like, let's say you remove a model from this particular unit with every 3 hits. So you see, there's a lot of granular stuff going on in here. It's intentional. I want it that way. But it looks like it would be pretty interesting and fun and make a kind of game that I'm after. I don't want no simple game. This is something that's got a lot of period feel and maybe even a little touch of realism, maybe. Albeit a dice pool system, which I find fun. But anyway, that's the gist of it. We won't go into any more details. Reinforce the company. Yeah. I have an idea brewing for a French and Indian war game. There are definitely enough simple skirmish games in circulation at the moment. Yeah, I don't like simple. There isn't just a computer game. Skip to Trench Crusade. You better see Dr. Nordic to get rid of the Trench Crusade cough, James. Trench Crusade. There's rules for formations like skirmish lines and all that stuff. loose order, open order, march columns, historical formations. There's rules for signals and things like that, whether they're gestures and war calls or whether they're a bugler or whatever. Or in the case of the infantry, it would be drums and things like that. So there's all kinds of good stuff. One of these days I'll have a beta and I'll put it out there and say, all right, guys, I need some dedicated gamers. Get out your chits, get out your models, get out your dice, your miniatures, and just play like crazy. And just kill it. Break this frickin' game. Makes distinctions between Spencer repeaters, sharp single-shot rifle carbines, Winchester repeaters, sidearms like the Colt Navy, and so it's got all that detail in there. Trade guns, smoothbore muskets, it's got all that in there. Of course, bows, spears, lances, and all that good stuff. Oh boy, says Nordic. Everybody needs to go out and get themselves an Apache girlfriend, okay? Do I need to say any more about that, Nordic? It's got to be done. All right, anyway. I think I'm all settled. I take care of Max there. Maximus, the other cat. Yellow boy. Custer? What are you talking about there, Custer? There's a yellow... what was his name? There's a chief of the Nez Perce known as Yellow... Yellow Dog? Yellow... No, Yellow Wolf. Yellow Wolf. Yellow Dog or Yellow Wolf? He was an interesting character. The old Nez Perceage going on. Colt Army 1860. Not everyone needs an Apache gal. You have to earn an Apache gal. Yeah, they'll cut you. Gotta watch, they'll cut you. Scenarios are going to be fun. Really important in your scenarios is taking out the horse herds. The horse, what are they called? The horse, what's the word I'm looking for? Whenever they travel around, you put your horses a certain place. You get those horses, you just basically won the battle. That's a big thing. It's got pack trains, it's got supply trains, which gives you supply points for certain things, and all kinds of goodies. Let's not go into more details. Let's save it. Okay? Save it. Oh, Yellow Boy repeating rifle. Okay. A little bit of slang there. A little bit of slang from the 19th century. My favorite was always the Spencer. Tube fed. Repeating carbine. That was always my favorite. I gotta get up again. Hold on. All right, there we go. All set now. Let's take out some of these standard bearer models. We'll see how we get along here. These skizzers, I think. Did I catch up on the chat? I don't think I did. Let me see here. Yellow Boy repeating rifle. Winchester 66 rifle. You'd have fun checking out the rules when I get them to beta. Nordic. Even if you just roll some dice and move around some chits to represent models or something, that'd be great. I think you'd appreciate the research I've put into the frickin' thing. There was once a PC DOS game, Custer's Last Stand. Time for me to lurk and fade away. In case I don't come back later, have a good... You take care of yourself, Max. Thanks, man. And say hello to Noro. Bakarimasu. Call it Yellow Boy because the receiver is made of brass. Gotta go. Good to go. See ya. All right, there goes Mikhail. Or Michael, rather. I think. See ya, my friend. Take care of yourself. Historical period and outside of the colonial North American period. Now, I want to add Texas Rangers and even the Mexicans. They have some interesting battles down there as well. Banditos. I don't know. A little ambitious, I think. Anyway, that's just something I'm working on. I thought I'd share that with you. I'm not a rules designer. I detest writing rules. That's why it's taken me so long. Just a little thing I do in the background. The goal is to publish them as well, just so you know. Got to get some decent artwork. Painted pictures. Little historical quips. All kinds of stuff. Eventually. Let's cut these flags out, shall we? That's really why we're here. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Bet you I could sell these. Nice. We're going to need some super glue and we're going to need some white glue. Where's my phone? There it is. Oh, man, life's good. I don't know if I'll use this X-Acto or not. I might just use the scissors. Let me get back to the chat here, make sure I'm caught up. Mexican standoff. Yeah. I'm not there yet. I'm still working with just what I've got in my head. Let's get something solid here before I start expanding, right? Alright, let's take this, cut it in half. How are the rest of you doing? How are you doing, Nordic? How was your weekend? How did the weekend go? We're nearing the completion of the Winter Warmer Challenge here. 3 more days. I think my goal is basically to finish this freaking project. All right. Yeah, keep them in pairs. Let's get some glue. What rolls downstairs, a loner in pairs. And over the neighbor's dog. Coughing today. It was one of those weekends. One of those, huh? Let's turn up our... Tell me if that music gets too loud and distracting. Oh wait, that's the wrong music. Where is... this one? Yeah, it should be fine. Let's do the grays first. Yeah, it's been a rough winter. All in all. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's nice. That is solid. Solid. Yeah, this is gonna be good. Let's see, I think I want to use a toothpick to wrap these. Gonna have to go grab a toothpick. I got these little safety pins too, they might work. Maybe even better. Let me pull one of them off here. Maybe we'll use that. Hi, Zaddy Rock. Did Squirrel make it safe and sound? No water, if you can believe it. I thought for sure by Monday. I went down in the house next door to see what might be going on in the basement where the tank is. And it's froze. Of course it's froze. I'm hoping it didn't damage the tank. But the valve that turns the water on and off to the entire property, that's froze in place. So yeah, it's froze. So, but the weather's been good, and we got what, 4 more days of above freezing. So I'm thinking and I'm hoping that'll thaw it out just enough for it to blow through the pipes. My sink is drained, so that thawed out. So all the pipes here where I am are pretty much thawed. It's all under that basement in the house next door. I have a torpedo. I could put that over there with propane. I've got it, but I have to dig that out. I'm not sure it's going to be worth doing. There's no electricity next door. I'd have to plug it in and turn on the power and let that heat up the basement over there. That would probably take care of it. But I'm being patient. I'm just thinking it'll just thaw. But if it gets close, I'll go over and dig that torpedo out of the basement over here and take it over. That'll heat it up. Top of the afternoon. From Artisans Domain, Minnesota. How are you doing, Zaddy? Is everything okay? Holding down the fort. Got the old flintlock loaded, locked and ready. Is Artisans Domain better than Gygaxia, which is full of silly people? We have our share of silly people for show. For show. For show. Yes, he did. He's working away. I bet he is. We all miss him already. Because we know he's going to be gone for a month. So it's like, we miss him. You know, he's only been gone 15 minutes. Where'd he go? Tried using a heating torch to melt the ice. I thought about that this morning. A blowtorch. I could probably use it on the valve. I'll see if I got one. I can't use it on the PEX, I don't think. That would melt it or something. But I could probably run it along it just the same, just to kind of give it a little heat there. I'll have to find the blowtorch. I know I got one somewhere. But we'll wait and see what happens. I'm going to let nature take its course up until at least a couple days. We have a few really below the 20s nights where it's in the teens. And I'm hoping before that it'll thaw out because it'll surely freeze up by then. But after that, it kind of warms up again. We're in the tail end of this winter, man. Right? It's amusing that I find myself incapable of being in neither Wizard of the Coast or Gygaxian camps, not wanted in either. Oh, it's good. Still have a nasty cough. Yeah, I bet you do. You're just getting over that. You hang in there, Zaddy. You'll get this. Keep yourself moving. Keep yourself going. Think positive. Positive vibes. Just keep yourself thinking health. You're healthy. You're doing good. Eat. Look, you know all this stuff. I don't need to tell you. Do you often lose water in the winter? No. Over the course of my lifetime? Yeah, it's happened. My father was pretty good at taking precautions, you know. You keep the water dripping a little bit at least. But last year, I don't think I had water. No, but I had water in the house next door and in the other house. And my sister's water froze. But I supplied her with water, and that lasted like a week. This year I got water over here. And so this is the first winter I've had water here, actually. And it froze on me twice. The first time it froze, it was just for like a day. It was still kind of warm, no problem. All right, learned my lesson. The second time, again, all my fault. And now I'm paying the price for it. But normally, there's always a risk of it. You got to be careful in the wintertime. But I'm usually up on it. It doesn't happen to me. But I've got the water shut off in the old house. And next door, I had to turn those pipes off because one of the pipes exploded a couple weeks ago. That's a different story. So I had that water off. So it's just, I got water in this one section of the house here. So if I screw up there, yeah, I have no water. So that's never been the case previously. I've always had multiple sources of water, but no, just this one. And yeah, I slipped up. It's okay though. Hopefully next winter I won't have this issue at all. Let's do this. It's part of growing up in an old house. Freaking house here is like 300 years old almost at the foundation. So it's not the most modern house, never was. Let's get back over here. The cats really miss him. They have been a handful, lots of shenanigans while the squirrel is away. The only Wizard of the Coast I'd still play is Star Wars Saga. It's what I cut my RPG teeth on. Classic Beckman, whatever offered Dave Con. And Pathfinder First Edition. I've only had good experiences with D&D. I don't ever remember having a bad experience. Good times. I've never really had a bad experience with any game, except maybe... And it was more because of the person I was playing with. I had some bad experiences playing Warhammer and Magic the Gathering. Never had a bad experience with role-playing games. But that was mainly due to the person I was playing against. And we all know what kind of person that is. I learned a lot from those little episodes in my life. I learned what kind of gamer I was, if I wasn't clear. But I never had bad feelings towards a game. I hate this game. It's all dice. All I do is roll ones. Now that's come out of my mouth a few times. All right, I don't know what to do here because this is so tricky. Let's see what this is going to look like when I put a flag on. You know, I'm thinking maybe to simplify this, I will take the knife and I will cut and separate the banner pole from the shako. If I can do that with ease without breaking anything, I gotta be careful here. Hope that this ain't brittle. If I could do that, I might be able to simplify this whole process. I do not like resin. 10 mil figures. Too brittle. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. Still some space there. Is this really worth it? Is this really worth doing? Alright, I just took it way down. Let's see, I think I'm on autofocus. You'll see what I'm talking about here. Let's take a look at my dilemma. I think I got it in autofocus. Yeah, there we go. Come on. Oh, you dastardly. So you could see right there, I just cut the pole away from his shako. See that? See how it's pulling? Otherwise, it is... Where's my thumb? Otherwise, it's like connected to the freaking shako. See that? And I got to cut the flag and wrap it around. I don't want to have to do that. This would be a lot easier because the flag is perfectly sized to go right in there. Right in there. So there's a little bend and give to it. So let me see if this is going to be worthwhile. See where I cut it. You see, I got to cut more. So this is where it's risky. I'll look at the chat in a minute here. Right there. Wow. I actually cut that right out. Wow. Now, there's a gap there. Let's drop the flag in and see if I can fit it. Is this going to be worth doing? Kinda, maybe. Now it wants to go a little bit further. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The problem with this is I got to be really, really freaking careful and precise. I'm usually good at that sort of thing. But man, this resin can be brittle. I don't recommend doing this. There, I literally cut that all out there. So there's now a big gap. Jeez, what a waste of time this is. There's now a big gap there. See it? See the gap? I just cut that all out. Plink. And it should could see it. It should go all the way down to his elbow, as you could see. It actually cut pretty easily. So let's see what happens. Make sure I didn't damage the flag. Let's see how that fits. So yeah, that fits pretty good right there. So yeah, it's kind of like that. And that would wrap around quite easily. I don't have to cut the flag. So this might be the way to go. All right, let's try it. First thing we do is we get a little bit of super glue. God, I hate super glue. This is the messiest damn stuff. I always get it all over me. I guess I gotta take the whole top off. This is ridiculous. Let me look at the chat. Thanks, Ryan. It's not necessarily the game, it's the people involved. It's 100% the people. Granted, some games really promote a certain style of play, that's true, but you can change that. Rules are meant to be mutable. You can adjust things to fit your style of play. It really is the people you play with. Don't let other people ruin your experience. Realize it for what it is, and keep playing the game that you think you enjoy or might enjoy. Don't just run away from it because, bad experience, screw this. People play a huge role. Damn, this is just not coming off. Let's check out our other glue. Wish I had my pliers. Oh, this is crazy, man. Damn, I think I'm gonna have to pour it out. Yeah, this is sucky. Of course I poured out too much. Do 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 do. That's why I need a toothpick. Let me go grab my toothpicks. Just noticed my TV is on for some reason. The spirits are on the move. just a little bit of super glue on the banner pole. And before we put on the flag, we're going to put a little watered down white glue on the inside of it. On one side of the flag, just like that. Spread it around. When this dries, it'll be like concrete. It'll be awesome. And that's it. Now we slide it on there quickly. Just like that. Close it up in the back corners. And then pull it up against the pole. Might be a little bit off center a little bit. That's okay. Because we can fix that. And squeeze it. Kind of bend it backwards. Oh boy, that didn't hold, did it? Make sure there's enough white glue on there. God, I'm not sure I put enough glue on there. Let's do this again. Okay. Do 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 do. Put some glue back in there. Nice and easy. And close it up. There. Oh, it's not as centered as I wanted it to be, so we'll trim that. Of course, these scissors don't want to cooperate. That's okay. That's okay. What we'll do now is do some folding. We'll worry about that stuff later. Let's use this. Since I did this. Do 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 do. Super glue, thin. Super glue, thick. I used the thin one. Alright, so I wish that damn focus would come in. Boy, it just blinks in and out. Alright. Oh, you can kind of see it. When that dries, it'll be like concrete. Perfect. All right. And that's how it's done. Okay, let's do another one. Should get easier to do this as I get along here. There we go. My experience with this resin here is that it can be very freaking brittle. In the case of the French project I was working on, it was horrible. You guys remember that? I just had a bad batch. These Russians, though, are more at the norm. They're very pliable. Even though I did have a few break. Their feet, they came off their feet. So you gotta be a little bit careful with them. They're not only resin, they're 10 mil, so everything's very small and fragile. Again, I'm speaking with experience here. That's what I have experienced. Of course, I'm a clumsy clod too, so. I admit though, it's easy to carve out. A little bit easier than plastic. It seems, anyway. Yeah. Okay. Let's do the other flag. Make sure the eagle is right side up. Pop some super glue on the base. Pop some white glue on the inside of the flag. This is great. This is awesome. There we go. Let's slide it on. Let's see what happens. Come on, go a little further down. Yeah, it's a little bit tight there, but that's okay. Perfectly folded. Yeah, you get better at this stuff as you go along, see? Don't want to fuss over the first one too much. Although this one didn't go all the way down. Let me see. Down a little bit. That's better. That's better. All right. Awesome. Freaking awesome. Let's give it the old fold-a-rooney. Nice and simple. Don't know if I like this pin. I like to use this. This one came out a lot better. 10 mil, 10 mil. Yeah. A little more of the eagle showing on this one. I like it. Yeah. Look at that. Oh. Pretty good. Yeah. This one didn't seem to take on the bottom, like there's no super glue there. Let me take a look here. Is that the case? No, that's the way I got it folded. I think. Can't really tell. All right. There we go. That's one battalion. Thanks, Edarak. See that? They look awesome. Doing your own flags. I'm telling you, it's great. Oh, Citadel fine cast. Terrible. Back in the early days, when they started doing that. I've got a vampire here. I got a vampire, one of the vampire cuts. He's made of that stuff. Surprisingly, though, he isn't broken. Next, take two more. Grab a couple more flags. Let's go with the. Black and white. Yeah. Got some perps. Now, when these are all put on, I always go back to each one and tidy them up a little bit. Usually by applying a little extra paint where it needs it, like along the edges of the flags. Sometimes if I don't get the flags perfectly folded on each other, you might see a little bit of the opposite side kind of sticking up. I usually paint that. I usually don't have to cut it off or anything. You just paint over it. Things like that. Because the backs of these flags are white. So if one of them is overlapping somehow, you're going to see it. So you kind of got to go over and paint it a little bit. No big deal. It's minor. But I say the most important thing, and you guys know this, out of this whole process is making sure you seal these flags really good. I used a glossy enamel on them. I let that dry, and then I put a D-shine over top of it so they're very well protected. So if they bend or something, they're not going to crack. It's not going to rub the paint off or anything. That's the most important thing. If you don't do that, probably going to damage the flag. Especially in this scale. They're so tiny. Of course, this whole process is a little slow going for me because I got to use this knife to cut that gap. Which I've got to be real careful with. But so far, it's working. All the way down to the bottom. And kind of cut away a little bit of the excess. It's the only thing. So it takes a little bit of dexterity, I guess. So I'm just started my next campaign using old school essentials. I think Squirrel will be happy to hear that. Narn Man. So that's the next game I want to try out. See how much I might like it for my Mythgard stuff. While I'm at it, let me cut this one out too. You'll have to let Squirrel know, Eddie. Make sure I don't weaken this. Also make sure I don't damage this other guy. As I get super glued to my mat here. Is that good? I feel like I want to cut a little of this out. Makes life a little bit easier. Perfect. All right. Make life a little easier for me here. Okay, we'll start with this one. Make sure we use the right tip for the right thing here. Super glue. This must be slow drying. Grab the first flag, make sure the eagle's head's up, grab the other side of the toothpick, put some of that watered down white glue all on the inside and one side of the flag, buttered up in there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's slide it on. Schlunk. Come on, come on, come on. Little schlunk. Go all the way down. Bring the corners together in the back, just like this. You can't see this. Yeah. Pull it against the pole where the super glue is. Got a little overlap in the back. That's okay. Easily fixable. There's no such thing as perfection. You can get really close, but that's the way life works. There we go. Just pull it up against the pole so that super glue adheres nice and tight. Yeah. There. Now it's solid. Now we take the other end of the stick here. That's this one. Actually, I should have a different toothpick, but I brought a couple in. I don't see one. And let's start folding. Yeah. Nice little initial wrap. I grab the outside corner and go the opposite way. Kind of angled a little bit. That's a beaut. That's nice. Now let's come back here again and push it down. And kind of push it down for gravity's sake. Got a little gap here at the top. Close that up. Perfect. Oh, wait a minute, there's that gap again. Let's make sure we close that up. To see this a little bit better. Let me see. There we go. Oh man, it's perfect. There we go. There, we'll let that dry solid. That's a good one. I like to give them a realistic appearance. I don't like them just this big square rectangle coming off the pole. I want them to be flapping around and kind of bent around. It just looks better. Looks real. Because there's an old saying, there's always a better way of doing something. And as great as BECME is, some of the mechanics, there's better ways to do them. So you have a choice. You do the work and house rule some things and change it. Or you could take a look at some of what other people have done. And see if you like that whole idea, that complete package. Maybe a little bit better. In the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Beckme's great. But yeah, some of the things could be done better. Like Max pointed out, the weapon specialization. I was never fond of that. I hated it, in fact, and I wouldn't use it. And that's okay. Still, there's no skill system. Don't need a skill system. Who needs a skill system? Do what you want and roll some ability checks, right? That's Beckme. A lot of people have house ruled how that's done. Some people use D20, roll under your ability score. Some people roll 3D6. Some people use savings throws for ability checks. All kinds of different ways to do it. And some of the clones like OSE and stuff, they pretty much use the old system. I like OSE. It gives you a little bit more options. I mean, it's essentially basic and expert. That's essentially what it is. It doesn't really change anything. It gives you some options that weren't originally there, like ascending armor class. That's nice to have that. Basic fantasy is another example. Kind of combine an AD&D into D&D with class and race separate. I think it uses a different system for ability checks. They all have their own little take on it. Ideas from other games and put them in there. So yeah, you could do that too. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, does it? Give me a second. Don't know why my TV was on. I think one of the cats turned on the TV. I'm at the stage in my life where I just don't even care anymore about games as much as you might think. Games are just games. That's all they are. I try not to get too seriously involved with them. Like, oh my God, this rule's got to be perfect, and I don't want to play this. I want to play. It drives me crazy. So I just, it doesn't really matter. You just play these games. If you want, if you like them, you keep playing them. If you don't, whatever, move on. I try not to get all wrapped up in it. I used to, but nah. Ooh, I got one more of these. Thought I was done with that. I mean, it's not real, right? Like my good friend Ian used to say, it's not real. I mean, I've liked games and got flack from people about playing. Oh, you play Flames of War? Oh, that's a toy game. That's not realistic. That's terrible. I got a lot of flack for that. From the more historical-minded gamers out there that would just breathe heavy down your neck. How dare you use a point system? Oh, let me read the chat. Mini Warmot. Oh, let me catch up with this. Osric. I think Basic Fantasy's pretty good. And it's cheap. $5 free, actually. Osric. I'd love to play Osric for Golden Glory. There's a lot of good things. Just too many. Freaking options, man. I don't want options anymore. Gotta step away. Make some dinner. Okay, is that a rock? Teriyaki chicken on the menu. I'm eating more pasta. Grug need understand game or Grug smash. Good old Grug. I miss Grug. There's Matt. How you doing, Matt? How you doing, Mattster? The Mattster. The Mattster. Mini Warmut. How you doing, Warmut? Yes, word mutt. CRT. Yeah, I think of Ian every day. I just had somebody just right before the chat, they left a comment on the post that I made, letting everybody know that Ian passed on. Some people are just finding out now. Guy was like family to me. Do I have a cold? Nah, I think it's the heat. I got it dry in here. Dry heat. Let me blow the schnoz. I haven't been sick, I don't think, in maybe 6 years. I suppose when I eventually do get a cold or something again, it's going to beat the hell out of me. I don't know, though. I don't know. The missing vape. I set this somewhere and I can't find it. It's like my glasses. Got to strap this around my neck. He was the one who said to me, rules, ha. It's your game. You play it any way you want to. Yeah, he was good at little sayings like that. He was too young, Matt. He was only 71. My sister passed away like a month before he did, and she was 72. Too young. Granted, my sister had all kinds of problems. She had epilepsy. She had really bad diabetes. I survived breast cancer twice. Yeah, she had it pretty rough. And that's only the start of it. So she had a lot of problems going into this. But Ian, I don't know. I think I think he had some problems himself. I know he did. He went in the hospital that one time and had something replaced. He had a pig's lung put in or something. You remember that? That was way back when we were doing the chats. He disappeared for months. Yeah, he was in the hospital the whole time. He had that going on. He had to quit smoking because of it. That's why he was vaping. He eventually quit that. But I think he was a pretty solid drinker all his life. Not an alcoholic, but he's pretty solid with that. And I think he did some damage to his liver and kidneys. That's what he was telling me when I was last talking to him. And his prognosis wasn't very good because of his kidneys and liver failing him. And I asked him, Ian, what's going on? Are you drinking? And he'd always be drinking beer. And he said to me, just beer, nothing heavy. Yeah, but beer will do it too. Beer will destroy you. And I think he was doing some drinking in his last days, and it contributed to putting him in the hospital in the situation he was in. I think so. Not that he was an alcoholic or drunk all the time, but I just, doing that all your life, even if you're having a few beers every night, you just can't do that. You're going to wear your... Yeah. So I think that played a big role in it. But that said, he was put in the hospital because of a heart attack. And, one thing leads to another. That's what probably done him in. But I don't know. The drinking didn't help him. I don't know why I'm talking about this. But it's a shame. I still go back to his videos. I still leave comments. Occasionally I'll look at the chat. It's hard. It's a tough thing to lose somebody like that. He was pretty big in my life. And in this community, he was a big deal. So, yeah. I'll never forget him. Zombicide. Yep. If you remember, he was spending a lot of time in his social circles there that he had recently. He was happy. That's for sure. He was having a good time. He was free from being a caregiver for his wife. He didn't have to do that responsibility anymore. And he made a lot of new friends, and he was doing things. And I guess he was writing a book. So he had a lot going. He was happy. That's one good thing. First stages of cirrhosis. Yeah. Well, my brother passed away from the same thing. Cirrhosis of the liver. It's a horrible thing to witness. Cirrhosis of the liver. It's terrible. He died at 42 years old. Can you imagine that? 42? My brother, 42 years old. He looked like he was 65. And that was mostly from alcohol. Drugs too, but he was a heavy ass drinker. Well, yeah, cirrhosis of the liver killed him. His skin was yellow. It was a horrible thing to witness. He died in the hospital alone. Yeah. Wow. 42 years old. Unbelievable. Spanky. Spanky was the librarian at my high school. I used to call him Spanky. Called him that to his face. He tried to fight me in the boys' bathroom. I tried to fight him, I guess. He grabbed my leather jacket and walked away. To protect himself, I took my jacket off. We're going to fight. I'm going to beat this guy up because I'm smoking in the boys' room. You know, he caught me in there. Old Spanky. So I'm standing there. I'm threatening him. I'm ready to go. Come on, you little bastard. So I took my leather jacket off. And what does he do? He sneaks over and he grabs the leather jacket and marches right to the office. So I had to go to the office to get my jacket, which I did. And I barged into the office, the principal and all this nonsense, you know, shooting profanity and everything else. I got kicked out of school for quite a length of time for that. Bastards. This is why I didn't graduate high school. One of the contributing factors. So that's who Spanky was. He's a little guy. He was a sergeant in the National Guard. Thought he was a tough guy. Yeah, he's a little guy. Had like a foot of height on him. I'm only 5'8". He's a little guy. Like Spanky from the Little Rascals. True story. I have a new friend, and I will call him Spanky. There you go, Spanky. Oh yeah, that's drying nice and solid. Let's do this second flag. It's going to take me a week to get all these flags on here at this rate. Let's see. Got to get another toothpick. One of these is for super glue. La 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 la. By the way, Matt, these flags are hand-drawn, handmade. They're not printed out. I don't mess around with printouts. We do things the real way here. We make our own flags. Yeah. We don't mess about. This is the real deal. This is why people pay me. A little artistic touch to the collection. All right. Let's slide it on there. Come on. Let's not get crazy here. Let's not get crazy. Yeah, that's a little off center. That one's probably the worst one. That's okay. That's okay. Make sure I use the right side of this toothpick. I gotta get another toothpick. One for super glue and one for normal glue. Let's line it up a little better. Give it a few bends, a few curls. There we go. La da 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 da. Beautiful. Man, I'm telling you, this is inspiring. Yeah, got a little overlap on there. That's all right. Just paint that. important thing is we get the flag on there and it's all bent, curled, and all that other good stuff. Looking all natural. Yeah. Beautiful. Let's close it up here next to the pool, a little tighter. Let me see. I think I need a little extra glue in here. Yeah, I do. Didn't take too well there. Shameful. Okay. I think I need a third toothpick. One for the folding process. Yeah, that's what we need. I'll be getting glue all over the place. And there we go. Awesome. Beautiful. Okay. All right. That's 4. Come on, foci. Little foci. Yeah. Get another pair. Do something a little more colorful here. There's the flags. Let's do a red one. Got red and black. Black and red. Red and white. Let's do these two. And so I gotta make sure they go together. Perfect. Right there. Ah, nice. Beautiful. All right, let me go grab another toothpick. Ooh. I've been Mini Warmut, by the way. How is everything? I think I missed your Saturday episode. That's right, every Saturday is Zombicide night. Twitch. Time for a shave pretty soon. This big old white beard of mine is starting to overtake things. Boy, is that out of focus. Wow. Let's fix that. Okay. Let's see. Let us see. Yeah, let's fix this focus. That looks terrible. Let's try to get these flags in focus a little bit. There. That's better. That's better. Some extra toothpickage. So yeah, I'm all set to do some OSE, Old School Essentials, next. My setting. I've figured out a way to integrate Hyperborea in the lands to the north, beyond the mountains of ice, lies the gateway to another realm, another world. And for me, that means that's how you get to Hyperborea. That's how people get into Hyperborea from Mythgard. So, I could kind of port characters over to that if I wanted to, because that's one of the cool things about Hyperborea. You've got people there from all these different cultures and worlds, really. So, that's how I'm integrating it into my Mythgard campaign. I like it. I like that idea a lot. I mean, Hyperborea is a no-brainer. I'm gonna do that. But this flag's a little bit off center here. You'd never tell. Could never tell. Looks perfect actually to me. Hey, Clyde. Clyde has joined once again. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. How is everything? How was your weekend? I had a very uneventful weekend. Waiting for my water pipes to thaw. Enjoying the somewhat less cold temperatures. Played some Pathfinder on Sunday. Caught up on a few streams. Videos, a few, not much. I still got a few to look at. It's not an easy task. Worked on my flags a little bit offline. Pretty uneventful. Which is a good thing. Roger P. McCowan. If you're in the board gaming, you know who he is. I just learned, I think yesterday, that he passed away on the 21st of February. If you don't know who he is, you've been living under a rock. He's responsible for a lot of the artwork that we know and love, particularly with GMT. Had his own little studio where he published, I think he did that magazine. But yeah, he passed away. I don't know any details. I feel like I'm the bringer of bad news in this community. I don't know why that is. I'm always making posts. Oh, this person's passed on. This person passed away. This, jeez, come on already. Okay. So yeah, that's another one. Hold on here a second. I don't have Jeeves on. Make sure I got these cleaned out. I originally wasn't going to do this. I was just going to cut the flags and wrap them around the flagpole. But I've learned that this is actually not too difficult, carving out the space between the shako and the pole, which means I don't have to cut into the flag. I can just wrap it around. It takes a little extra time, but I think it's worth it. Your Google avatar. I think you got to go to your Google account. You know how to do this. Well, maybe you don't. You goofed it up there. I don't know. What's going on, Nordic? You got this. Come on. No, let's not do that one. One step at a time here. One flag at a time. Let's not water this glue down too much. Got it fixed now. That's your Discord avatar, isn't it? There we go. There we go. Now let's put this on before it dries. Put super glue on there. Let's sink it on. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's line up those corners. Squeeze it. There we go. This is going to be a good one. Yeah. That's a little overlapped on this side, but that's okay. We're going to paint that. We're going to paint that, Clyde. We're going to paint that. This is perfect. Tighten it up at the pole. Yeah, that's great, man. I love this. Now we'll grab our other toothpick that we brought in. Let's do some folding. You ready, Clyde? Go do some folding. Get ready. A little fold, a little twisting and turning. This is great, man. I love it. Yeah. A little folding. Fold-a-rooney. Damn, we're going to go the other way. Let's get that, Clyde. We're going the other way. Look at that, like magic. Look at that beautiful flag. 10 mil goodness. Holy smokes. That's awesome. That's pretty good. I don't think we'll do much more to that. That looks pretty good. Do have to tighten it up a little bit where it's at the pole. Squeeze it in there like that. Just a little bit. There we go. That's much better. Maybe a little bit more here on the tip. Bunk. There we go. Nothing too crazy. Looks just right. That's going to dry like concrete. Look at that. Fantastic. Da, 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 da. Oh. Just like magic. Okay. There's not many pagans here. As far as I know, there's only one. What are you trying to say, Nordic? What are you trying to say? As far as I know. As far as I know, I don't know much. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, folks. A grain of salt. My opinions are just mine. My own little world. Man, this is gonna take forever. Cut these damn things. So I'm 1/6 done right now. I'm 1/6 of the way there. Let me see something. When I click this, curious if it faded in and out. Yeah, I guess so. Wolfgang. Yes, BCS Market Garden would be an auto purchase for me. This is Wolfgang. Jeff Vasevich. So, let me go back there again. Board games. Holland 44. Is that a good one? Is that a good series? That is a series, right? That's Operation Market Garden 44, September. Quatre Bras. Last Eagles series. Hexism. MMP. I miss my board games. I'm going to get pretty heavy back into board games again. I should be playing pretty steady and regular. While I do other things here, I'm going to be working on my game room, my game studio. So that's going to be done. I got a huge couch in there, which I'm thinking of keeping in there. But man, it would open up some space. But I got to put up a door. Be a lot easier to heat if I do that. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just cleaning out and making room. It's all pretty much cleaned out. Got to take a few things out of there, though. There's a desk, a little kid's desk that needs to go. No need for that. There's a glass cabinet for a TV and stuff, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Some of this stuff is just taking up room. Some of it's going to come over here. I'm going to put a big dining table in the living room. I could actually play games in there too. My family's kitchen table. I'm going to bring that in there, I think. Alright, let's get to the next flag. Same process. Grab the flag and kind of fold it up a little bit. Make sure it's lined up. It'll be easier to put it on the flagpole once it's all bent already. Kind of centered. Make sure the eagle head is up. I can't even see that. This side. That's hard to tell. And we'll put some super glue on the pole. And then we're going to go back to the flag and we're going to put some white glue watered down on the inside. This is where the flag connects to itself. And when that dries, it's going to be, like I say, concrete. It's going to be nice and solid. And we'll put this toothpick to the side. And we're ready to slide it on. Let's go. This gets easier and easier as we go along here. Getting a little crowded. Let's see if I could do this. Okay, hold on. Had a little hiccup there. I usually get it in one go. That took two. Gotta bend the flag around. Grab it by the back top corners and pull it tight to the pole. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be secure. Yeah, there it is right there. Then we're all set to do some curling here. Grab our other toothpick. Let's start folding, curling, or whatever you want to call it. Kind of go a different direction on this one. That one didn't fold too well. Let's do this again right there. Yes. There we go. There we go. That's awesome. There you go. So there's the other one. There. All right, that's 6. Like I said, it goes quicker as you go along. It's easy when you know how. Once you figure it out, you're good to go. So there they are so far. Not bad, not bad. Actually beautiful. Look at that. This back one here is pretty standoutish. Yeah. Like I said, it's so satisfying to do that. Handmade flags. They just look so good to me. Thanks, Clyde. Think you'd ever do your own flags like that? I mean, you don't have to. It's not. It's like a bit of extra work for sure. I do it completely because I just enjoy it. Like I said, in another life, I was probably an artist. But still, just one more way to connect with your collection, I guess. Customized. Blink, there they are. So I guess if I do 10, flags a day. That would be 3 days of 3 sessions. Kind of bend it in here and get it all set up. What are you working on, Clyde? What's your latest project? I don't think I've seen any posts from you lately. Newest painting project? I don't know whatever became of our... Yeah, where is my... Hold on here. Something's missing from my stream. What, I deleted? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Why is it not showing up? Alright, hold on. I gotta find it. There it is. I didn't have it set up. Our Winter Warmer Challenge. I don't know if you were in the winter... You were in the Winter Warmer, weren't you? Clyde? Baby eating up spare time and energy. Yeah, I hear you. Totally understandable. I know a few folks in that bandwagon. My nephew, for one, he's got a newborn. She's a year old now. Her birthday is in January? Late December, I think. And his son is 9 years old. Just had a birthday in January. One of them's in January and one of them's in December. He's got a 9-year-old and a 1-year-old. So his time is totally invested. And I know my good friend in the chat lurking here is Ryan. He's got a whole clan of infants. At least one is an infant. And sadly, he can't play in all the games he wants to play in. Every once in a while he gets to play in my Pathfinder campaign. And then there's Clyde. And then there's Matt. I don't know if Matt has any infants, but he's definitely got a clan. Me too, Matt. I'm looking forward to getting back to my board games. You guys and your World War II board games. Yeah, you keep at it. I'll eventually get one of those games and try my hand at a operational or strategic level, or whatever you want to call it, World War II game. I got a lot of choices. Whoops. Hold on, I'm ahead of myself. I'm ahead of myself. I think I would enjoy it. Probably something to do with D-Day. Actually, any Western Front, or no North Africa. I'm not a big fan of North Africa for whatever reason. But Italy might be interesting. Definitely Normandy. Not sure about early war stuff. Blitzkrieg era. Not sure about that. I'm not a big fan of that either. So yeah, kind of like D-Day stuff, I guess, is what I kind of like. The fall of the Reich. Anything in that department. Maybe some Eastern Front. Maybe. Total War, baby. Totaler Krieg. I could get into that, I think. That's a whole different kind of war there, baby. That, for that matter, even Pacific. Maybe some naval stuff. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. It's easy to forget that. I always think, oh, Germany, Western Front. Forget all about the Pacific stuff. That would be pretty interesting, for sure. For sure. You have to keep an eye on Matt's games that he's doing. That's what I gotta do. He lives for this stuff. He loves it. Oh, man. Don't get him started. Oh, boy, does he love this stuff. Who would have ever thought this miniatures gamer, Matt Shriver, would turn into a solid counter-pushing, hex-mapped dude? Man, who would have thunk? That was not his jam. Not at all. Boy, but man, little did he know. It's funny how that happens. Same thing happened to Ian. With board games and 40K and Flames of War. I mean, he never showed interest in that stuff. But there it was. I couldn't believe it. Oh, I'm being summoned. That's bad timing. I'm gonna have to look and see, though. See what that's about. Little summons. Make sure I got glue on there. I feel like I didn't get enough. Hold on. Alright, let me do some folding here. Never say never. Boy, that's true in this hobby. I'm at the stage where my hobby is so many different things. As in role-playing, board games, miniatures games, fantasy and sci-fi and historical, and just wacky stuff like zombie apocalyptic things. There's just so many, so much. I worry about myself sometimes. That flag was perfect. That's 7. Got one more to do. Let's see if I got a loner here all by himself. Yeah, I do. This guy. Oops. Cold War gone hot. I do love it. I still love to paint. But I did so much painting, I never played anything. Now I am playing more. Yeah, that's a good thing for you. I remember those days when you were just backed up and you just had too much of everything. Had a lot of pressure on you too. A lot of stress. A lot of pressure to get things done. Kind of like me, where I gotta do commissions. You're constantly painting for other people. You lose your hobby. You do. You gotta be careful of that. But knowing you, you're so enthusiastic when you get into something. Knowing you, you tend to push yourself a little too much. A little too much, Matt. I don't think burnout is an alien term describing you. And your hobby endeavors. Gotta be careful. Of course, you know all this nowadays. Gotta find that perfect pace. Gotta pace yourself. Everybody's different. The whole trick is to find that magic spot where you can get just enough done to be happy and not burn out, not feel stress, right? Painting shouldn't be stressful. Painting is a beautiful thing. Painting is very therapeutic. It's very It's very meditative. Meditative? Yeah, meditative. It's like meditation. So it should never be stressful. If it is, you're doing it wrong. For some of us, it's all we do. For most of us, it's the vast majority of our hobby. And because of that alone, you better enjoy it. You better not be one of these guys, oh, I hate painting. I hate it. I don't want to paint. Then you find yourself in need of folks like me. Dr. Commissions. Yeah, that's right. But you're missing out, though. You're missing out. If it wasn't so stressful and demanding, you'd probably enjoy it more. So, yeah. Just find that magic little pace. That little pace. That's all you need to do. Find your pace. It'll be so much better. Look at the chat in a minute here. Got this flag to put on. One more. Gotta make sure I put it up. Eagle head up. Let's not forget. Eagle head up. There we go. Alright, let's slide it on there. There, that's good. Perfect. Grab the back corners, squeeze them tight. Then tighten it up around the pole. That one came out pretty good. Then we're all set to do some twisty-turny. We're all set. What are you doing, Chloe? Walter, or whoever that is, moving around. Go the other direction. Push it down a little bit, and that is beautiful. Do-it-yourself flags, folks. Homemade, hand-drawn. Feels pretty good. Feels satisfying. Here's another one. That's 8. 2 more. Can I join for a bit? You can. I'll be on for about another, what are we at? About another hour tops. And then I'm done. Go to the green room over on Discord. It says right there, green room. And I'll get all set up and I'll drag you in when I'm ready. The old green room. I'm not even over there. Board games. I live in the world of board games. Wargaming. Yes, I hear you, Walter. He demands a good feeding. That's what that is. Good old-fashioned feeding frenzy. Okay, let me see here. Let's see, where do I find this? This? Yes. Volume is good. Everything looks good, I guess. Yeah, I think that's right. That's when Kat was in here. I had it all set up already. Let me take care of the katsa. Squirrel wanted me to say hey-o. Tell him we said hello. Zadarock, it's good to hear from him. Tell him I'm going to be giving OSE a try. Oh, those flags are looking good. Let's see where Matt is. Let's bring Matt in. And just like that, there he is. Matt Schreiber.
Where? Where am I? Am I here?
You're here, man. You have arrived.
What's up, buddy?
Not much.
Okay. All right, buddy. I'm talking to my son, too. So what? It's been a while, bud.
Ah, not too
Oh, yeah.
long. What have you been
Yeah,
up to
yeah.
besides crafting that wonderful table of yours?
Oh, I know, right?
It's awesome.
You don't want to hear interesting story about that table. I
Go
didn't
ahead.
spend a dime on it.
Yeah, that's good.
So I used extra materials from building that room in there for the girls, and that extra material got me a table.
Oh, you lucked out. You
So,
made sure to buy a little extra, didn't you?
hmm well, I had extra fence posts, and I had extra 2x4s,
You did.
and I built out the 10 foot. I had a 7 foot by 3 foot table, and I framed out around it, to kind of even it up on the legs. 22 inches on either side, made it a 10 foot by 4 foot. And I was going to make it a 10 by 5, but uh, I decided with the 4 because the overhang would have been too far and people leaning on it. I can just add a little mini table to the side if I have a game big enough to where I have to do that. But then after I framed it out, I used a 10 foot by 4 foot piece of drywall. And I know everybody's saying drywall, what?
Yeah, drywall. Wow.
Yep. And I screwed it in like you would a piece of drywall on the wall, and I filled all the holes with,
Yeah.
compound, and it smoothed it out. And then I painted it with a PVA paint
Okay.
that uses PVA glue, like Kills. Sealed it up and waterproofed that. And then I used a water-based polyurethane on top of it
Wow.
to even more to harden it up.
Yep.
And if you were to knock on it, it'd be like knocking on wood.
Really?
So, yep. And it is. And then I took this. It's a piece of felt that you put between a carpet and a no-slip pad, and it's very smooth, and it's got enough cushion, in it to where, if you spilled something on it, it's waterproof. Everything. And then there's my table. And then
How do you like that?
last thing to do is to take some pool table felt, which they make in rolls at 5 foot wide, and stretch that across the top of that, and then Bob's your uncle. Using
Wow.
materials that you have left over to make a table. And I know drywall, but I'm gonna tell you that drywall is very sturdy the way I built it. So
Was it a double layer of it or just one layer? How thick was it? They're like, what, a half
it's
inch?
it's the 5/8. It's the
Five
thickest
eighths?
stuff. It's just 1/8 bigger than a half inch,
Oh,
and
jeez.
yep.
But you made it
And it was
work.
just one.
That's great.
That's right. That's right. And when you frame it out every 6 inches instead of 16 inches. So it makes it very, very sturdy. And I just to test it out on the one end, I dropped a heavy weight on it. It didn't even dent it. So
Wow.
I did good. I did good.
Hot damn.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I never would have considered using sheetrock.
Me neither. But I was talking it over with Nordic, and I said, Bazinga, I figured it out. Like, I know I don't have to go to the hardware store, have them cut it in 4 foot sections to fit it in my car, and then, haul it out here to the house, and then, put it back together in sections, and then figure out how to, make sure it doesn't have gaps and stuff like that. Well, what I did was as hard as a rock. So I didn't need to do it. And he thought I was crazy too at first, but once he saw what I did, it's just, I call it a hillbilly table.
Yeah, hillbilly table. There it is. That's great.
or homestead table, whatever you want to call it.
So,
Just using what you got.
so what were you
You
using
know,
before? Your kitchen table? Remember your
I was using my
pictures?
kitchen. Yeah, my kitchen table was 9 foot by 4 foot. So yeah, I was using the kitchen table, and the problem I had with that is I had to keep breaking it down every single time. I was finished or picking it up. I couldn't just leave a game up, and as we know, some of these games take 2 or 3 days to play. So and I want to play that epic battles miniature game. So I needed a permanent place. And that room that I built for my girls, that was my game room. So that got taken away, and so my daughters can have more room. So I'm stuck with a garage, which it's heated, it's air conditioned. So I thought, why not? Let's do it. And I put my computer out there and I set up a big old TV so I can read comments from the table and,
Uh-huh.
watch TV and game. And now I got to do the other side of the couch. The other side's just a bunch. I got everything thrown to one side. And so I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Good. Good for you, man.
It's going to be all log cabin look, so I've got somebody who sells, torn apart pallets,
Yeah.
and he takes all the nails out of them, and he sells each plank for a quarter a piece. So I go out there with $100. I got a ton of these, slats, and I just power nail them to the wall,
Nice.
and it looks like a log cabin. So
That's great.
it's going to be my log cabin game room,
Oh man, so much, so good, so good. It's better than what you had.
Right.
You
It's
were in
way
a
better.
you were in a basement before, weren't you? You had a big table. I remember you built that one too, didn't you?
Yeah, and then I got kicked out of that room.
Yeah, of course.
Put in a much smaller one, had a 6x4. I was very scrunched in that room, and I was very buried by miniatures. And honestly, what you were talking about just a little bit ago, I will tell you that honestly, it was a really bad thing that turned really, really good. So I'm much happier the way things turned out, and it needed to happen that way. So,
Yeah, it did.
and I live for this stuff.
You do. All
But
in. Nobody goes more all in than Matt Schreiber, folks.
right.
Look out. It's true. It's true.
Well, Nordic and I played on one Cold War Gone Hot game, and now we're all about it. We're going to get some 6 mil micro armor modern Cold War Gone Hot miniatures.
You are.
And and we're thinking about playing Frank Chadwick's game.
You are.
Or incorporating a hex and counter rule set into a miniature game.
That too.
So, and we're excited about it. We didn't realize how cool Cold War Gone Hot was until we played the game, so. And operational level, like I said in my last podcast or whatever, that operational is my jam. Anything operational, I love it. And I painted so much, Curtis. I did it for 15 years. I did nothing but paint.
Yeah, screw that.
You remember? Right. Well, no, I did. And I never got to play. I just never got to play.
How sad is that?
I mean, I had and I had a lot of, people sending me things I had to, do videos on, and I had to paint that stuff and use that stuff, and I just felt the pressure.
Yeah.
And I was so glad. I was so didn't realize how relieved I would be and less stressed out I would be until it was over. And starting over sometimes can be therapeutic.
Yep.
And so now the only things I'll have that I'm painting right now is things I'm actually going to be doing instead of, I'm not buying anything else that I'm not going to use or not going to paint. So.
Excellent.
And of course, these war games, if you don't buy them when they come out, they cost like 3 times the more,
Yeah.
So I'm a serious guy, and you know that.
Yep.
So when I buy things, I buy them all.
Yes,
So
you do.
we
all in.
right. I have every single one of the GMT games, American Revolution games.
Okay. It's a good series.
Heck, yes, it is. And I didn't think I'd like it, but I really, really do.
Yeah.
And
before.
speaking of series, right? I got all the Next War games, GMT's Next War. And I had to have them all. And then MMP does their, OCS. Well, I don't have them all, but I damn near got most of them, and it cost me an arm and a leg. So once I get all the series, the series games, it's
life's complete.
it'll be back to painting time, and then I don't have to worry about spending thousands of dollars on them later. So like my Holy Grail one right now it's $600 to get it, and I need to try to find it somewhere where it's not $600, but it's a game called DAC 2, and it's OCS game from MMP called DAC2, and it's the North African front for operational scale. So, and I love North Africa in World War II, and here recently I've really gotten to the Eastern Front.
Yeah.
And I'm a Bulge guy. I love the Battle of the Bulge. So, but I digress. But yeah, you can hear the enthusiasm on the games that I have.
Yeah, my God.
Right. And right now I've got a World War II Day of Days standard combat system game sitting out, along with Korea, the Korean War operational game next to it.
Thanks.
And then that's on my big table. And then I got another small table off to the side where I have a small game on there going.
Gotta have the
So
backup
I'm getting
table. Gotta have the backup table.
Right.
Gotta have that going.
Right. And I'm gonna have 4 tables before it's all done
You
to
are.
play games on. So, and one of them is just gonna be a paint station where all I'm gonna do is just paint miniatures there. So, and that's where my computer is currently, but I have to move my computer to kind of the center of the room. So when we're playing live, oh, that's Bernie. He's whining. What's the matter, Bernie? That's here. I can show him. You want to see Bernie?
Let's see Bernie.
Let's see if my camera will work. It's on, but it's not working.
I can see you.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, I can see you.
Uh-oh.
You'll have to turn it around.
Okay.
Oh,
There he is.
Ta-da!
He's a big.
Aww.
He's a big guy.
He is. He's the new one, right?
Yep. He's only 5 months old. So,
wow.
Oh, wow. My camera's kind of.
He's a biggin.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. He's totally adjusted to that new house now, and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can see him there. Yep. This is where I sit in the house most of the time. He's got all his toys around. He even has a boot that he stole from one of the girls that he chews on. So.
boot. Of course.
Yep. Right. Poor guy.
Where's my
He's
boot?
whining because he wants to. Well, he's got the kid. The kids are here and they're all in their rooms. So like, when they go in their rooms and do their homework at night, when they get home from school or whatever, he's sitting there waiting for him to come out, and play with him, So. But yeah, that's Bernie. That's old Bernie there. Bernie the St. Bernard, 5 months old. He's already like 60 pounds.
Oh man, I wonder how big he's gonna get.
They said 160, 175
Yeah.
for his breed. But yeah, I've been buying these miniatures, these epic miniatures, and Warlord Games. I'm having John Russell on this weekend, by the way.
Go ahead.
And John Russell, this Sunday's show, he's going to talk about all the stuff that's coming out, like epic battles and stuff. But he's been making fun of me because I bought like 4 kits of these flaming hogs,
Wow.
ancients, because they're such great models. They're pigs on fire. Like, that's terrible, but you throw them at elephants, And I'm going to do probably a live unboxing of those. And the miniatures are so good.
Yeah,
Like-
you like him, huh?
Oh, they're so good. I don't like the Romans the way they're set up, but they have to be that way. But the Carthaginians and then the Spanish, what are they called? Scutari or something like that.
Yeah.
Nordical. Tell me I said that wrong, but I just love them. Like, I cannot wait to start painting the Carthaginians. The problem I'm having is the Romans. I don't enjoy painting them because they're 3 parts. You can't just paint the whole miniature, but I'm gonna slog through those and then I'm gonna paint the fun stuff. Because I know if I paint the fun stuff first, I'm not gonna be very enthusiastic about painting the Romans. So
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to 6mm infantry, but we're gonna do it. And I'm gonna make it a tribute to Ian. So
Yeah.
the 6mm,
There you go.
because he was a hugely adamant about his, I think it was it 6mm?
Yep.
or 2 mil World War II, or no, ACW.
6 mil American
And
Civil War.
that's right. That's right. And he said, "Oh, 6 mil's where it's at." And I never listened. So now I'm listening. I'm listening, Ian. So I'm going to do 6 mil World War II, North Africa front, Eastern front, and then I'm going to do Cold War Gone Hot moderns.
Yeah,
All
he'd be happy you did that.
micro armor. Oh, yeah. I'm going to do all micro armor and maybe some Pico, but quick and easy to paint, but you know what I mean? So, and I'll have plenty to paint, and I have plenty of games to play, and it's just going to be great. I'm so excited for it. So GHQ micro armor.
I've done some of them.
Yeah, I was thinking about hey, when I get all these World War II North Africa ones, I'll send them your way to paint for me.
Yeah.
If you're taking commissions.
Yeah. I'm taking commissions. I ain't stopping.
Well, good. We'll talk about that because I really, really would love to have something painted by you.
I'd love to do it. What time? When you thinking of doing that?
Next month.
Oh, geez, right around the corner.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy all the stuff I need for North Africa. German, Italian, British,
Hey,
and
you know what to do?
Well,
send me an email.
Yeah, I will.
forgeandbrush@yahoo.com.
Yahoo.
That's my business email. Send me an email in there and just tell me briefly what the project entails. What scale?
Okay.
What the manufacturer is, just the basics. We don't have to talk about, this is the details, how much and all this. Just give me the details of it. And then what I can do is I could send, and I give you good prices on this. I'll send you my rates sheet and give you an idea of what you're looking at. And then we can go from there. I always work with my clients. I always am willing to break up projects.
Money's not an object, buddy.
Okay. Thanks for telling me that. That's a good way to start.
I'm getting something from a good friend that I've always wanted something painted from you to put on my table, and I have something that you did, and I'm willing to help you out too, and spread the excitement, the wealth, and everything in this hobby. So, absolutely,
it's a beautiful way to look at it.
I will do that.
Just
I'll
send me an email of what it is, and I'll send you my rates, and we'll talk about it and get it all figured.
Sure. It's 6 millimeter micro armor, and I was just going to direct ship it to you whenever we work it out. So that way, I'm not shipping it to me and then shipping it to you. So, take your time with it. You don't have to get it done in a certain amount of time, or however long you want to take on it. It's fine with me, and I can pay up front for it. So
beautiful.
That way, paying up front, it's off my mind, and I don't have to worry about it, when you're finished with it and everything. So.
Okay, we'll see.
Yep, and we'll give it a go because it's going to be quite a bit. So, we might have to do it in waves. I don't know. So We'll talk about it. But I mean, I'm going to paint the moderns, and I just want to get a jump start, on being, and I'm going to paint the Eastern Front ones. So. And my epic battles, and probably every time I do any kind of podcast or have a Saturday afternoon, spend a couple hours at a time on it. Nothing crazy, but like I used to anyway, every day. Pardon me. My dog is whining at me.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, he's whining at me.
Aww. He says, "Who are you talking to?"
Right. He thinks he needs to go outside.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah.
You gotta take a
I don't. Right.
Get me out of
it's one of those. It's one of those things too where I'm. We don't have a fence up yet, so we have to keep taking them out on a leash or putting them on a chain for a little while. And I'm putting up a fence probably in the springtime sometime, just so he can just be out there and run around all he wants. Mm-hmm. We got a rather big property, so big dog, big property's good.
Yeah, that works.
But
That's good.
I just got 2 new games today, and I hate when I do that. When I buy games, I don't want to open them yet. When you open them and you see all the cool stuff in the boxes, you're like, "Oh, I want to play you." You know,
Uh-huh.
I uh I got Compass Games NATO Cold War Gone Hot today, and I got something called Air and Armor Wurzog. And Air and Armor is something I'm super hyped about because it's the very first game that I've seen, and there's probably others, but it's the very first hex encounter game I've seen that has the counters. You don't know what your opponent has strength points. You know, you have companies that are signed to 4 different tanks, right? And those tanks can get deployed like the full Monty, where you put steps on each one of those tanks, or you put a dummy counter. And if your opponent runs into the dummy counter, that dummy counter goes away. And you're like, oh no, all the other strength is with these other guys over here. And he could put all 9 steps on one counter, or he can put 9 steps spread out between 4 counters. You won't know it until you encounter it.
Oh no.
Even solo, you don't know it. It's awesome.
Huh.
It's awesome. It's an operational game.
Of course.
So, but it seems like a lot of fun, and I really, really want to play it, but I have to refrain because we're playing Day of Days in Korea. Korea is an operational scale system game where it's operational, but they don't have your attack, your defense, or your movement on the counters. They just have sizes. And everybody moves 5 movement points. And out of those 5 movement points, there's 4 different types of attack. And you have to pay movement points to do a really planned attack or a hasty attack or a meeting engagement, which is just, attrition losses. And it's a bunch of die roll modifiers. So like it's done very different than any game I've ever seen, and I really enjoy it. And they have Korea, Vietnam, and Cold War Gone Hot with it, which is called the Doomsday Project: Battle for Germany, Battle for the Balkans. Nordic and I played it. We slugged through it trying to figure it out, the rules and stuff. But once we did, it is the neatest. And listen to me, you know me. I'm so enthusiastic about it, but it's just one of the most fun games and strategic games I've ever played. So, we're working through it.
Yeah, there you go.
Playing games, man. That's where it's at. But I hadn't talked to you in a while, so I figured I'd call you, join in here and say hello and tell you what I'm up to. And it's good to hear from you. And
Yeah, now that I think about it, it has been a while. I seen you
it
here
has
and
been,
there,
yeah.
but then you disappear. Yeah.
Right. And it's mostly because the past 2 weeks, this household has been battling sickness.
Ah.
So, 8 kids plus 2 adults and a dog equals influenza B hopping around from everyone to everyone. And, everybody being miserable. And, that was the past 2 weeks. And before that, one of the kids got COVID, so they had to be isolated. And it's just been, winter has been hard, but, and work too. So I'm actually moving terminals. So I'm moving 30 minutes further away from where I'm at now. So that has something to do with it too, work. So I get more time at home. If I switch to this other terminal, I'll get an extra 10 to 12 hours a week at home.
Wow.
So work-wise. And still make the same money. So, other than that, life is good.
Yeah, good.
And it,
How's your lady
sucked to
friend?
hear.
How's your lady
Oh,
friend?
she's great, of course.
Good.
She's getting her hair done right now.
Yeah, of course.
So I get a little bit of me time tonight.
Yeah.
But my schedule when I have my children here every other week is pretty wacky. So I get sleep, but not enough sometimes. By Thursday, Friday, I'm a zombie.
How does all the kids get along? I mean, it's like two different families coming around each other. They all,
Right.
was that a big challenge or did that go reasonably well?
At first it went okay, and then it got harder, and then now it's pretty well great. They all get along for the most part. Like my son Eli
That's good.
and my stepson Bo share a room, and it's bigger than the one they had before, so they have more room to move around, and they really get along, even though they're 7 and 12 years old.
Huh.
They both like video games. They both like VR, so they play together on the VR in the same room, which is, I don't know how they don't hit each other, but at least they got enough room. And then my oldest daughters, um, Isabel and Lily, are the same age and the same grade.
Wow.
So they're like best friends. So, and that was a little rocky for a little bit, but it got better just because of, friends that they had together and a guy they liked together or something. I don't know.
Wow.
But they're almost 14. They're going to be in high school next year. So,
Wow.
and my oldest son, I don't see him anymore. He's turning 21 in July, and I rarely see Alex, the one I play games with.
Yeah.
He's so busy with his full-time job, full-time school, and girlfriend that he don't have time for deal with dad right now.
Nope.
But
Yeah.
we were all like that.
Yep. She'll
So
come back around for sure.
right.
Happens all the time.
And my middle daughters, they are close in age. They get along with each other. They fight like cats and dogs, and then they love each other for a while. So. And then my youngest, of course, Chloe. She's starting to talk finally. So. She's high functioning autistic. So like things
Really?
comes much slower to her, and she's starting to talk, and she's just turned 5, and she's eating at the table and drinking out of cups now, and so she's progressing. So
Wow.
they say she's high functioning, so she'll have a normal life. She's just a couple years behind everybody else, basically.
Wow. You
So
got your hands full, man. Full family.
yes, I do, and it's fun, and rewarding, and exhausting all at the same time.
I bet.
So
I bet you enjoy your hobby more this
I
day and
do.
age than you did ever in your life because of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I do.
I think hobbies have more meaning
Absolutely.
when you have all this stuff in your life, the pressures and stresses and making money and work and then kids, family, not just a couple kids, but a
Right.
whole clan of kids. That's a lot going on. So having a hobby and having time for that hobby must be
Hmm.
really intoxicating almost for you.
It is. It is. And it literally brings me out of my world. So, I get 8 to 10 hours at night at work to listen to, podcasts and books and things like that driving. So that is a bit of a break, but I'm still thinking about, oh, I got to do this tomorrow. I got to do that tomorrow. So the only thing that brings me out of it is that time that I get out there at the tables, and all I'm doing is just thinking about this battle and this history and playing this and playing that. So for me, and even I even watch these, or not watch, but listen to these paint and chats in the truck because you can listen.
Yeah.
And when you show stuff, I'm like, dang it, I can't see it.
Yeah.
you know, Because, when you're moving, your phone shuts off if you have it connected to the Bluetooth, which is good. Like, you can't do anything but call people. So, or listen, the screen turns off. So, and there's very strict laws against watching TV while driving. But I'm going to tell you, I've drove past some truck drivers with tablets suction cup to their windshield, and they're watching Roseanne or
Wow.
something. Yeah, I've seen it. Like, I
Good.
can't believe some of these companies allow people to do that. But,
Well, the
you know,
next time I show something off, I'll make sure I get very vivid in my description.
please.
That'll help out a little bit, I think.
It does, and I listen, and I can't listen live a lot of the times because when you come on, like it's dinner time, or I'm sleeping still, or I'm picking up the kids from school, or what have you. But like, I get home at 6 in the morning, 5:30, something like that, and then I got to take my kids 30 minutes to their school, drive 30 minutes home.
Yeah.
I'm home by 7:30 in the morning. I go to sleep until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then go back and pick them up, come back home, make dinner, and then I get to sit down for a couple hours and do whatever
So
every single day. So
when is your stream scheduled for? Sunday nights? Is that what it is?
yeah, Sundays at 8 because I'm off Saturday and Sunday nights, and we're doing live unboxings, every Wednesday if we, as long as we have something to unbox. Which I have one for tomorrow. I'm going to be doing the NATO or next war, Vietnam. I can't decide yet, but we're going to unbox one of those two. And, we'll have little bitty one-offs when I don't have my kids. Though, I usually sleep till noon and then I can have more time. But once I move terminals, I'm going to have till 8 o'clock at night instead of 6. So I'm going to have a couple hours extra every night to just relax and spend an hour here and there painting or playing or clipping or whatever. So I'm really looking forward to June. So
Clipping.
But I drive to Kansas City, then to Springfield, Missouri, then back to St. Louis every night, 600 miles. So it wears me out.
Wow, every night?
Every night, Monday through Friday. Yep. Those look nice. What are those?
Those are Russians.
Oh, do you still do the black line painting?
I have always done black line painting.
Black line? Yeah. Those look good. What scale? 15?
These are 10 mil.
10 mil? Damn, those are actually a lot bigger than I thought they would be.
It's just the
Yeah, here's a question. What scale is 1/144th scale? Is that 10 mil or 12?
Divide by 12, and that's the number of
Divide
feet
by
per
12.
inch.
Okay.
I think that's the math. Yeah. Divide by 12, and that's the number of feet in scale, represented by 1 inch. And divide that by 25 millimeter, because that's the metric equivalent of an inch. And that tells you how many feet in scale per millimeter. And there, you could actually figure out what it is. Okay, 10 mil. What is 10 mil? That's 100 feet or 10 feet. So that's a 10 mil figure. That's whatever. Yeah, you can figure it out from that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I got a game in the mail, and they gave me a 1/144 scale NATO Apache helicopter model for saying thank you for buying from me. So I thought that was kind of cool. I was just wondering what scale it was.
I think 15 mil is 10 mil, or what? 1/100 scale.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That would be 15.
Because the numbers, so that's probably anywhere between 10 and 12.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a little snap fit Zvezda, Apache helicopter. So that was kind of cool of him to send it to me. I bought apparently his store just opened on eBay, and he's like, this is a thank you. Here you go. Okay, I'll buy from you again.
Yeah, grapes.
Hey, Squirrel. But hey, I do have to run, Curtis. I love talking to you, man. Just, wanted to hop on and say hi. It's because it's been a little bit.
Well, don't.
But I have to get ready for work.
Don't hide. When you're around, got some time, let me know.
Oh, no, I will.
We'll do a little chatteroony and get some things painted or whatever you're up to. Painted or clipped.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just clipped the ratio markers for the Third World War game that I have. So
how many counters was that? 500?
Okay, this one's got 9 counter sheets.
How many?
And 9 counter sheets and right around 2,000 counters.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so a lot of them are markers, but I got all the units flipped, and now I'm working on all the step loss markers that they have for the game. This is a Frank Chadwick game, and he's got 4 games in one, and it's the Persian Gulf, the Battle for Germany, the Arctic Front, and the Southern Front for Third World War, and then he's got another one coming out which is East Asia, the South China Sea area. He's got like 4 more, and it's like a $200 game. And I'm gonna tell you, I did the live unboxing for this one on my channel, and the components in this were pretty stellar. They're really nice counters. They're really nice maps, and for what you get for 200, it's worth it. And the way the game plays is very interesting as well. So
All right.
yeah.
There you go.
But yes. Oh, and Bob says hi.
Oh, yeah. Tell him I said hi, too.
Yeah,
I see his posts on
I will.
Facebook. I'm always liking his stuff. I think he notices. Maybe he doesn't
Oh
know
yeah.
it's me, though.
Oh no, he knows.
Does he? Okay.
Yeah. I spoke to him a couple days ago, and he's still doing his scale model stuff, and Nordic and I are doing 1/35th scale models as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do the NATO. I got a Leopard 2 and a Russian Terminator BMP that I'm gonna be painting 1/35th scale, and I want to do a few dioramas, And Bob's like, "Oh, I'll help." So he's gonna help Nordic and I do those. So I
Babinski.
spoke to him. Yep. Oh, Babinski. He's doing good. His emphysema is getting worse, but he's hanging in there. So
Yeah.
and he's still doing stuff.
That's good to
But
know.
he does say hello, because I told him I still talk to you. And he occasionally dumps in on my videos, and
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Maybe we'll bring him back
but
again.
I'm hoping.
Maybe we'll get him in
I
on
told-
a live play again. He's the only player that never actually lost in all his games.
Right. And he goes, "I'm done with all that live stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
done with all that game playing and painting the war miniatures, and
Yeah.
you're crazy for doing 6 mil, Bob." So
Yep. That's Bob.
Mr. Jackass.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, Curse, I gotta run. I gotta get ready for work, man. And you take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care, Matt. Be safe.
All right. Ta-ta.
Toodaloo. There you go. So I clean my fingers from super glue. How you doing, Squirrel? Good to hear from you, man. Keeping it real. Just got 12 flags done. Got them all put on the flag poles. Good progress. There they are. That's what they look like, folks. I gotta touch them up. Gotta paint around the edges where there's a little bit of the underside showing of the flag. Stop it. But we'll do that last before we put them on the bases. Looking great. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Super glued to the pole. And then watered down PVA on the backs of the banners to press them together. And this dries just like hard as a rock. So they're going to keep those folds and they're going to sit in place nice and tight. Looks great. I sealed them the other night. Extra sealing. Gave them a nice gloss enamel spray. And then I have that D-Shine that's in a bottle. So once that gloss enamel, shiny, was all dry, I went back over it with the brush of the D-Shine on top of it to get rid of that glossy shine. So they're extra sealed, which is perfect. I can bend and twist and fold as much as I want. I won't damage the flag. So yeah, this is great. Making dinner. What are you, sitting in the motel room? Well, you certainly ate out on the street. Some back alley somewhere. I'm sure they fit the bill for your stay, right? That's all included in that stuff, I'm sure. They must put their workers up. You don't have to pay for that, I'm sure. So it's probably pretty good, huh? Probably pretty good. I'm thinking it's pretty good. Walter, I just fed you about a half an hour ago. What in the world is your problem now? Oh, I hate super glue. Hotel paid in full by the company. Yeah, that's what I figure. Well, that's good. "30 days. The state pen." Well, not really the state pen. You're living in a nice motel for work. Have a kitchen and room. That's even better. Well, I suppose if they're going to pay you for working there, the least they could do is give you a room with a kitchen. 30 days, I mean, is a long time. You know what I mean? Eating 30 days worth of McDonald's. That could add up, too. For sure. Let me feed this cat. It's too warm in here. Let's put these guys up here, get them out of the way, and clean this little thing off. Gonna be playing some OSE. I'm gonna be giving OSE a shot for my Midgard campaign. Since you guys have been talking so much about it, I said, yeah, let's see what's going on Foundry. Must be pretty good by now. They got their own official Foundry stuff. So I went over and looked at it. Got the free basic and the compendium. And they got a lot of stuff that you got to purchase, which ain't too bad, for the advanced OSE, which is probably the direction I would want to try. Plus all the adventures and stuff they got there. All kinds of good stuff. So I'm glad they have that. That's good. So I'm going to give OSE a run for its money. Over in my Mythgard campaign alongside the Castleage and Crusadage. And again, you know, I got to admit, I absolutely love it when I could just crack open a game. And we'll call this a brand new game, because it is, and just know everything about it without even reading anything. I mean, it's basic expert D&D, essentially. And it's all so familiar. I could sit there and roll up a character, done. I didn't even read the rulebook yet. I love that ease of learning in a game. It's so convenient. Castles and Crusades is also like that. Very easy. So, I really appreciate that about these old school games. I really do. I mean, you're talking to somebody who, I get into Warhammer 4E. There's a lot to that game. Oh, Pathfinder. There's a lot to that game. I'm used to really being weighted down in the learning curve of a new game. And granted, going back to Pathfinder First Edition is like old hat at this stage as well, but still, there's a lot of depth in the game. You gotta read this stuff again. You can't go without reading it. There's a lot to it. But yeah, I appreciate that about OSA. So we're gonna give that a whirl too. I got all the PDFs. I got the tome. I got the rules tome hard copy of that. I've had that since it first came out. But I never bought any more after that. But I got all the PDFs for advanced and basic fantasy, or classic fantasy as it's called. And some of the adventures I have when they originally came out, like the Crystal Caves and that other one. Some good stuff. And the great thing is, all this stuff is OSR compatible, all of it. So you could use it with all kinds, even castles and, at least with the odd. And oh, my OBS is disconnecting. My OBS has gone off.